Hello everyone and welcome back to another session on Java programming. This is Pooja Ji, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, SNS College of Technology. So in this video, we'll be focusing on command line arguments in Java. This is a very useful concept because it allows us to pass the inputs to our Java programs while running, uh, making our programs more flexible, interactive, and user-friendly. By the end of the session, you'll not only understand what command line arguments are, but also how to use them, their advantages, best practices, and even some common pitfalls to avoid. So let's understand first what command line arguments are actually. So let's start with the basics. So these command line arguments are inputs that we provide to the Java programs when we run it from a terminal or a command prompt. Like command prompt is nothing but something when you go into the Windows and type CMD, you'll get the window open. So for example, if I run Java my program hello world, then hello and word are command line arguments. So in Java, these inputs are passed into the main method as an array of strings, like writing a string box brackets and args. So this gives us the flexibility to change the behavior of program without modifying the source codes. So, what are those functionalities of command line arguments? So, and how does these work? So, first, when a program is being executed, the arguments are entered. The arguments entered are being collected into a array of strings. So, as we saw in the previous videos. So, second is that inside the main method, we can access them using these. Indexes, like for example args and 0 will contain the first argument and args and 1 will contain the second one, so those positions have been saved there. And finally, depending on the input, the program can behave differently. And also this means that the same program can run in multiple ways based on what the arguments are. And then there's kind of flexibility also here. So it enables different behaviors of the same program to be based on the provided arguments. So how do we use the command line arguments? So let's go in step by step. So first, you access the arguments through the string args parameter inside the public static void main, and then when you run the program, you use the syntax like Java class name and then argument 1, argument 2, or argument 3. So inside the program, you can retrieve those arguments using those array indexing. So it is important to handle those errors. For example, if a user forgets to pass an argument or enters a wrong type, the program should handle it gracefully and instead of crashing the program. So these are some things to be kept in mind while using the command line arguments. So let's see what are the some of the examples of command line arguments. Like first, let's take adding two numbers, like where we given int number 1 is equal to the first integer, and then second one is equal to integer parse int args, and then in the output we give it as sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2. So when you run the Java sum as 5 and 7, the output will be sum is equal to 12. And the second example, so this is one of the examples for Java program. The next example may be file processing. So file processing is nothing but it takes the file name argument for the processing. So you can write a program where the argument is a file name, and the program then opens the process to process that file, and this is widely used in automation scripts. So these examples show how command line arguments bring interactivity and flexibility to the Java programs, and then enhancing the user's experience. It illustrates the interactiveness and interactivity offered by the mm, command line arguments. And then so let's see some of the advantages. Like first one is dynamic input. uh, so dynamic input and automation capability, and then flexibility. So dynamic input is nothing but no need to you don't have the need of a hard code values inside the program. You can just pass it during the runtime. And then automation capability, so they make automation easier, especially when you're writing a batch of scripts or shell scripts that called Java programs. And then uh, the last one is the enhanced flexibility. So this is nothing but the same program can handle multiple scenarios just by changing or creating a slight changes in the arguments. So in short, they make the Java application smarter, more adaptable for the users. So let's see some of the best practices in command line arguments. Like any feature or any command line argument should be used carefully. So some of those best practices are validate arguments, provide usage instructions, and use meaningful names. So when it comes to validate arguments, it always checks if the required number of arguments is provided and whether they can be converted to the correct types. And then when it comes to the usage instructions, provide usage instructions, the user enters the invalid input. If they did that, then the display it displays a clear help message like usage Java sum number 1 and 2. And then when it comes to the meaningful names, if your program accepts a multiple of arguments, make sure that you're named or documented well so the user knows what each one means. And then following these practices, it makes our programs more reliable and user friendly. So let's see some of the common pitfalls in the argument handling. So there are generally three things. One is neglecting array align, then type conversion errors, and then overcomplicated parsing. So when it comes to neglecting array lengths, if you try to access the args1 without checking if it exists, you'll get an array index out of bounds exception. And then when it comes to type conversion errors, since all the arguments come as strings, using them directly as numbers will cause errors. Like you must convert them using the methods like integer parse, int, like I said before. And then when it comes to overcomplicated parsing, sometimes beginners try to handle too many arguments in confusing ways. But keep it simple, keep it clear. Let's see some of the advanced usages of command line arguments. For more complex applications handling command line arguments manually, it may get tricky. So that's where these libraries come in. So these Apache Commons and Commander, these are some of the popular Java libraries that provide better ways to handle the arguments. And then they allow you to define options with flags like hedge, help, named parameters, and even auto-generated help messages. So in advanced applications, especially multi-threaded ones, these arguments can even control those thread behaviors or resource those allocations. So while simple programs can stick on to the basic arrays, professional projects often use these parsing libraries. Let's see what are the importance, specific importance of these arguments in Java. So these can be like they add flexibility, they are they are interactivity to the program, they allow automation, easier script integration, makes the application more dynamic. So by following those best practices and using those parsing libraries when needed, you can relate those Java applications that are both powerful and user friendly. So thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, share, and comment. So let's see in the next video.